Hello, good people. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Let's get open for business here, and let's wake up the football gods this morning. It's been a rough morning here because I know it's we're going through the 5 stages or 7 stages of grief. There's anger, there's sadness, there's crying, there's bitching, I literally have gone through all of them. And for some reason, this one hurt more. And I don't understand why this one hurt more, because going into the season, if we go back to videos from me or Law or any of the of us, and we listen to the talking heads, the expectations for this team weren't really there. We looked at it and we said, we don't have a wide receiver core. Our linebacking core has got issues. We got problems on the offensive line. And then we lose Tyron Smith. We have a quarterback break his thumb. And you look at all of those things that we thought, and nobody thought we could make it to a divisional round game. But in the end, we just didn't do it. The plays we need were everywhere, but we could not make those. And now we join a seat on the couch with the Commanders, left hand up, and the Giants, watching the Eagles in San Francisco. People say that was a choke game, but to me, the definition of choking is when you are expected to do something realistically. We as fans always expect the Cowboys never to lose, but we had a short week. We were playing on the road against a really good team, a well-coached team. So I don't know if that's a choke job or not, but, people are going to say whatever they want to say. They're going to say. They're going to have fun. I'm getting the text messages, the emails, and all of the jokes and tagged and Twitter and Facebook and everything else. And that's fine because, I am a grown-ass man, and if you're going to talk the talk, walk the walk. If you want to put yourself out in social media, if you want to be out in the limelight, you can't be there and be just a fair weather fan. You have to man up. Take your medicine. But I know for 13 weeks, I enjoyed myself this year. 13 weeks were phenomenal. And we did some things this season that were good. We just couldn't finish them. I want to read something I got this morning, and forgive me, I'm not the best of out loud readers, but I know you're all mad. I know we are pissed at Dak Prescott. We're hearing, we're seeing trade Dak is trending on the internet. And, of course, Stephen A. and Skip Bayless and everybody else are killing Dak Prescott and focusing in on him because now he's on the couch. He's joining the likes of Josh Allen and Daniel Jones and Trevor Lawrence, those bums as well. But nobody's focusing in on those guys. Why? Because nobody cares. It's only them boys. So proud of Dak. He is the most hated and blamed on, criticized by more player in the NFL because of the hate of the Cowboys and Jerry Jones. He works harder than anyone I know and is accountable for moments that aren't even his fault. He didn't hurt Pollard, his number one weapon. He did not miss hitting Kittle while he was making unbelievable catch. Our receivers couldn't get open or catch, and Kittle's catch was a game-changing play. Diggs scared to hit and miss a wide-open interception. Dak also didn't drop 2 interceptions right in his hands. He couldn't kick a field goal or miss it, block, or both on an extra point. He didn't kick the ball with 2:08 left. He didn't miss blocking assignments. He did throw that one on a really bad read by Brown, or maybe Dak, but the second was not on Dak. No separation from receivers either. He had 2.5 less days rest and preparation and could have had at least Peters back. But Dak did throw a few bad throws, but led in rushing. And he didn't commit all of the penalties in crucial moments, forcing him to throw to tight windows with no time. Lost a tight end before the game that hurt your 2 tight end plays. Not a bad year with a broken finger that had to have a plate put in it. Surely that didn't hurt his play at all, because he still went 12 wins, leading in scoring, and beat Brady out of the playoffs with one receiver close over 30 that came in off the couch. And with a rotating offensive line due to injuries and both defensive backs hurt, and James Washington immediately hurt, all facts. Where was Rodgers, Brady, Wilson, and Watson? All true statements. All true statements. In the end, it doesn't matter. You got that star on your head. Everybody will give credit and blame to the quarterback. I don't know what's going to happen from here forward. I don't know if Dan Quinn, the bright spot of our team, was the reemergence of a defense and one hell of a game changer in Micah Parsons, the Savo Lion, I call him, the man eater, and he looked like a man on fire yesterday. But we are stuck. As a Cowboy fan, I feel like this is, what's the name of the movie? Tom Cruise, where it's like the same day. It's like Groundhog Day. Every season seems like it's Groundhog Day. How fitting is it that Tony Romo's playoff record is 2-4? Dak Prescott, 2-4. Divisional rounds, 0-3. Divisional round, 0-3. We are literally edge of tomorrow. We'll go through, ask me, have you heard this before? For the next couple of months, we will be pissed off. We will talk about Jerry Jones doesn't care about winning. We suck. We'll get killed by the media. The Cowboys are the laughing stock of the NFL. They don't care about winning. They're bums. They will tell us how bad we are. We'll go through free agency and not make big moves. We won't do things like other teams where the NFL has changed. See, I've been a Cowboy fan forever. I saw what the Dallas Cowboys were in the 70s, and I saw what happened to them was what Tom Landry was doing got old. Being the defensive coordinator, his flex defense, people came up with a new way of doing business. He became antiquated. And we went down the toilet. We had a rebirth with Jimmy Johnson. And then free agency came through. And now, the old ways are not working where you just build the team straight through the draft. We've seen from the Eagles winning in 2017. And, let me take exception to a Twitter troll. When I say that the Eagles went out there and bought talent, you can't just go out and just buy talent and say, okay, we're done. Washington's tried to do that forever. You have to have a core group of people, and you got to put the cherry on top. You got to get the extra pieces that will be difference makers. That's what the Eagles did. They had a good quarterback in Jalen Hurts, and they said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put a great offensive line in front of him, which he does. We're going to go get playmaking wide receivers. And when we get players hurt, we're going to get the best player available out there, and we don't care what it costs. We don't care what it costs. We get the Cowboys, who do a good job at finding talent. We do a good job at finding talent. But we are always, instead of looking at the premium, we're in the bargain basement shopping. We go for the James Washingtons instead of the A.J. Browns. We go for the Anthony Barrs instead of a Von Miller. That's where this whole wash, rinse, repeat keeps happening to us. We get excited because of the draft, and we get sold that we don't need Amari Cooper. We got Jalen Tolbert. Jalen Tolbert, we got that guy. He can replace him. No, he can't. And all season long, we were looking for a number 2. Blame Dak. Go ahead. Go ahead. But this is the same edge of tomorrow that was with Tony Romo. And unfortunately, with Dak Prescott's body, he's getting to the point of getting close to where Tony Romo was in his waning years. Really good quarterback, but not enough supporting people around him to get it. This team's going to change. There's no way around it. I haven't listened to this. I've gotten bits and pieces of it, but I want to listen to the reaction of Jerry Jones after it.
San Francisco. They beat the best of us tonight, and so I'm going to give them again. I thought defensively it was just that. It was two really outstanding defensive teams, giving it the best they got. We would know how proud I am of these guys in here. It's a good team. Frankly, turnovers do settle the scores with games like that. I'm so disappointed for the fans. This felt good. This felt good to play for the team.
Okay, I can't hardly hear it. But you can see that Jerry Jones is not, that's the quietest you've ever heard Jerry Jones. Let's get fans' reactions.
Yeah, let's go live to WFA's William Joy, though. Boy, William, you could really hear the despair in Dak and Jerry's voice, and I'm sure you felt it. You were on that roller coaster of emotions with fans out there in Arlington.
And Teresa, it's crazy looking back because that's the way the day ended, but it started a lot like the Cowboys season. A lot of hope, a lot of optimism, maybe even some cockiness. And I want to show you what it looked like out here because there were thousands of people at this watch party. I mean, you could barely even move, and they were all excited at the beginning of the game. The Cowboys defense got a stop, as Joe talked about, even a few sacks before eventually getting that lone touchdown. The loudest cheer by far was for Brett Maher's 25-yard field goal that tied the game at 9 right after half. But there were obviously groans for Dak's interceptions and the one that Diggs almost had. Close but not quite probably sums up the Cowboys today, certainly sums up the last couple seasons. And after the game ended, we saw a few tears, a little bit of anger, and just frankly, as you just talked about, some hopelessness when I talked to fans afterwards. Take a listen.
Dak threw 2 interceptions. What can I say? That's all they cost us.
It sucks, but we'll move on. We'll move on. Next year. I don't know. They got to get over this somehow. I mean, better luck next year, I guess. But what kind of changes do they have to make next year?
Honestly, I thought we had a better team this year, and seeing he was like a rookie quarterback, Mr. Relevant, I thought we had like a better chance of winning this time. But I mean, that's just how things go with the Cowboys.
It feels like it feels like honestly. I mean, props to them giving McCaffrey. That's a good pickup. Props to them. We'll get him next year.
And when I talked to people afterwards about what needs to change, there was that usual back and forth of people saying that Dak is a disaster, other people saying that they'll stand by him no matter what. It's interesting, though, what the path forward looks like. When you talk to fans, they said that last year they felt like was their best chance. They said they felt that even more this year. And at the very end of the game, after that final pass, just watching the crowd, you didn't really see a ton of anger in that moment. You just saw a lot of heartbreak, a lot of hopelessness, a lot of people wondering what's next for the Cowboys. Live in Arlington, I'm William Joy.
What's next for the Cowboys?
Dak should get off of him immediately. That's a man-to-man route. When he pivot back outside like that, that's the only time you throw that, a man-to-man, because you lost your man. But they were in a zone-type bracket coverage, and all of a sudden, he still throws a football. I'm like, what are you doing? But that's because he ain't reading it right for whatever reason.
Final score 19-12. And I know, you say, well, they come away with 3 points, and how does that the difference in the game? Those 2 interceptions, but those are points you could have scored 2 on offense, even just getting field goal range, just keep the chains moving. It really seemed like when a defense plays like the way the Cowboys defense did, you need the last thing the quarterback can do is turn the ball over twice on the road in the playoffs.
It's true.
And I got to imagine that is demoralizing for that Dallas defense. For someone like Micah Parsons, who, Micah Parsons, you look and you go, oh, my God,
exactly.
this dude.
Have you ever been side-eye?
He really looks like LT.
Have you ever been side-eye, Max, by anybody?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Yeah, of course.
Who asked?
Imagine how many side eyes Dak Prescott got yesterday from his teammates. On the field, off the field, on the plane, standing in line, getting ready to get on the plane. I can only imagine, because you're right. When you throw 2 interceptions, and your defense plays that way, those interceptions are costly. Because guess what the other side did? They played basically the same way on defense. They played lights-out football, but what did the quarterback not do? Give the football to the other team.
Well, this has been an ongoing theme with Dak and Key. I know that we said, a couple of weeks ago.
I thought he turned the corner last week.
Exactly, right? On turn the corner. But here's something that's going to blow your mind, Key. Hold on, Max. Dak has not had back-to-back games without a turnover, interception, or lost fumble
since
for 49 straight games.
Wait, he
49 straight
You're saying he
games.
hasn't put 2 together?
Yes.
In 49 games.
49 games.
So he has 0 turnover, then he comes back and has a turnover.
Yep.
Yeah.
0 turnover.
Never had back-to-back games without a turnover. 49 straight
Hard
games.
to win a Super Bowl like that, right?
49 straight games, Key.
Damn, he a
Is it
turnover
right?
machine like that?
That's what I'm saying. So when you get
That doesn't even. I mean, I know you.
No, the question is how many other players does that apply to, right? Is that
no. That's not what I was saying. I was just gonna say it doesn't even sound right. That doesn't even sound like a $150, $200 million quarterback.
So the last 2 games where he's had back-to-back games without a turnover was the last regular season game in 2018 and then the season opener in 2019.
When they were punting the ball at the end of the game there.
McCarthy can tell time. Maybe he has one of those conditions where you can't tell time.
No, I don't know if it was on him or miscommunication with the people in the personnel grouping. Maybe they were thinking that they were going to go for it like I was thinking. At that point in the game, yeah, you had the 2-minute warning. You had 3 timeouts. But I personally, if I was coaching that team, I would have scrapped that, man, let's go. Because we hadn't been able to stop them at that portion of the game from an offensive standpoint. They have been kind of moving the football a little bit. And you saw what happened when they got the ball back. They moved the ball, kept the ball, and that was it. And the Cowboys got it back with 40-something seconds left.
But, Key, I'm not going to jump to conclusions and say that, all right, today, Dak, Mike McCarthy should be fired. I think Mike McCarthy should be the next head coach. He should continue to be the head coach there. At some point, the dudes on the field have to make the plays.
You have to make the plays.
At some point, you're going to look at Dak and you're going to say, okay, this moment was built for you. It was 19-12.
McCarthy,
it was right there. You have multiple opportunities. It's right there.
Mike McCarthy didn't throw the first pick. Mike McCarthy didn't throw the second pick. Mike McCarthy didn't tackle Pollard and hurt his ankle. So when you start to look at those things, everything can't always be on the coach. There's certain things in games that I certainly can tell you if a coach did something wrong and he didn't make the right decision or the right call. I could do that, but in this particular game, this one is not on Mike McCarthy.
I hope Jerry Jones is listening. Jerry, you keep Mike McCarthy. You give him a 10-year contract extension right now.
Well, and he's right. The players have to play. Flat out. Flat out. My final thought here on this walk
I say that as a Giants fan. Just keep everything.
Final thought here on it is we cannot be the less talented team on the field. One of the things that was great about the 90s Dallas Cowboys is you could go position by position by position, and the Cowboys were just better than everybody else. You had Hall of Fame players through all of the generations of the Cowboys that were the greats. When I look at the Cowboys right now, I don't see that many that have a possibility. When you look at the Cowboys since the 90s, the Hall of Famers, the last 27 years, in the end, you got to have the players that play that get you those. And this is up to Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones to understand we are good enough to compete. And sometimes we're good enough to win those games we don't expect. But in football, you just got to be better. And until that philosophy changes of bargain basement shopping and, only building through the draft, we're going to get the same results. And so this is on you. You can get off the train or you can continue. Wash, rinse, and repeat. I'm Mark Holmes, and, this sucks.
Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is